Steakhouses in the 1970s had a unique charm that many restaurants today can't replicate. From York Steakhouse to Bugaboo Creek, these iconic eateries once dominated the dining scene but have since faded away. What made them disappear, and what memories do they leave behind? Join us as we explore 10 steakhouses from the 1970s that no longer exist. York Steakhouse used to be a major presence in shopping malls. The first location opened in 1966 in Columbus, Ohio, founded by Burnt Gross and Eddie Grayson. They launched the restaurant at The Patio, a small cluster of eateries, and quickly expanded by setting up new locations close to their competition. By the late 1960s, York Steakhouse became popular in shopping malls, a growing trend. In 1976, General Mills Restaurant Group bought the chain and grew it to nearly 180 locations across the country. York Steakhouse was known for offering various cuts of beef, chicken, or fish, served with a potato, a roll, and access to a salad bar. As food courts gained popularity in malls during the 1980s, offering cheaper fast food, York Steakhouse struggled and shut down many of its restaurants. By 2023, only one location remains, in Columbus, Ohio, where it all began. York Steakhouse wasn't the only chain facing challenges, as another iconic brand, Beefsteak Charlie's, gained massive popularity by offering customers a great deal with endless food and drinks. Originally a single location in 1910, it became a restaurant chain in the mid-1970s when Larry Ellman took over a small chain and renamed it Beefsteak Charlie's. The restaurant quickly became known for its huge portions of ribs, chicken, and steaks at reasonable prices. What made it stand out was the all-you-can-eat salad bar, which included shrimp and unlimited refills on ice cream, soda, beer, wine, and sangria. Their ads, featuring a cheerful actor as Beefsteak Charlie, promised, "You're gonna get spoiled." At its peak in 1984, there were over 60 locations on the East Coast. But by 1987, the chain was struggling financially. Despite being purchased by Bombay Palace Restaurants, it was hard to make money when so much of the menu was free and unlimited. The company filed for bankruptcy in 1989, and Beefsteak Charlie's eventually disappeared. Beefsteak Charlie wasn't the only once popular chain to collapse. Another beloved brand, Victoria Station, was a standout among the mid-20th century steakhouses in the U.S. because of its unique setup. Dining rooms built inside old boxcars with a nostalgic train and railroad theme. The first restaurant opened in San Francisco in 1969, founded by graduates of Cornell University's School of Hotel and Restaurant Administration. By the late 1970s, there were nearly 100 Victoria stations across North America, offering steak and traditional sides. But rapid expansion caused financial trouble, and by 1981, the company faced a yearly loss of $6.3 million. Leadership changes couldn't reverse the downturn, leading to Victoria Station to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in 1986, with most locations closing. A single restaurant in Salem, Massachusetts stayed open until 2017, ending a nearly 50-year run. The closure had a significant impact on the community, particularly Salem's children's charity, which had used the restaurant for its annual Christmas party for over 20 years. Board members scrambled to find a new venue. Victoria Station's downfall echoed the struggles of another once thriving steakhouse chain, Lone Star Steakhouse and Saloon. This family restaurant chain became popular in the 1990s, competing with others like Texas Roadhouse and Outback Steakhouse. Lone Star Steakhouse and Saloon was another significant player in this market. It served exactly what it promised: steaks, seafood, salads, and other hearty Texas-style dishes. The founder, Jamie B. Coulter, used the money he earned from owning several Pizza Hut franchises to start Lone Star. This restaurant was first opened in North Carolina in 1989 by Creative Culinary Concepts. When it became a chain in 1992, it began with 8 locations. By the end of the 1990s, there were 265 Lone Star Steakhouses across the United States. The excitement soon faded and the company struggled. By early 2009, it had 179 locations but closed 27 of them. By January 2017, only 16 remained. As of 2023, only one Lone Star Steakhouse is still open, in Guam. Lone Star's decline mirrored the challenges faced by Valle Steakhouse, another popular steakhouse chain that once thrived in New England. Valle's Steakhouse was a well-known restaurant in New England. It eventually grew into a large chain of big steakhouses in Maine, Massachusetts, and Connecticut, serving hearty steaks at affordable prices to many customers. The first Valle Steakhouse opened in 1933 in Portland, Maine, with just 12 seats, created by Donald Valle. The restaurant became so popular that by the end of the 1930s, Valle could open a larger restaurant and convert a nightclub into another dining spot. Valle's locations were spacious, serving hundreds of thousands of customers. By 1951, a restaurant in Portland was selling more steaks than any other restaurant in the United States. In the mid-1960s, after opening 3 new locations in the Boston area, the chain served over 200,000 customers weekly and employed 1,300 people. By the 1970s, Valle's had several restaurants across New England, but after Donald Valle's death in 1977, the family struggled with estate taxes and gradually closed most locations. Similar to Valle Steakhouse, Rustler Steakhouse faced its own set of challenges that ultimately led to its decline in popularity. Joe Campanella, a retired football player, opened Rustler Steakhouse in 1964, introducing a unique Old West theme that featured cowboys and ranchers, which was rare for non-fast food restaurants at the time. 5 years later, Geno's, another restaurant chain, started by retired football player Gino Marchetti, bought Rustler. While under new ownership, Rustler struggled to compete with other family-oriented, budget-friendly steakhouses like Ponderosa and Bonanza. The company spent more on advertising than it wanted, as its locations were too widespread for cheap local ads. The recession caused prices to increase by 12% in 1 year. To save money, executives laid off many staff members and cut the marketing budget. This led to poor service and lower awareness of the brand. Geno's sold Rustler to the Marriott Corporation, which later passed it to Tenley Enterprises, and in 1985, Rustler merged with the growing Sizzler chain. The shifting landscape of American dining saw Rustler Steakhouse face competition and decline, much like the challenges encountered by Mr. Steak. This restaurant chain started in Colorado Springs in 1962 and became one of the first casual steakhouses for the average American. It offered USDA choice steaks at much lower prices than fine dining restaurants, attracting many customers. By 1978, there were almost 280 Mr. Steak restaurants across the United States, making it a popular choice for birthday celebrations, where guests could eat for just $9 on their special day. As public attitudes toward red meat changed, many people reduced their beef intake due to health worries, which hurt business. To counter this decline, Mr. Steak expanded its menu with more chicken, fish, and healthier salads, but this confused the brand's identity. Financial problems, including unpaid franchise leases and rising debt, forced the parent company, Jamco, to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection in 1987, leaving only 60 locations. With the rise and fall of popular steakhouse chains, Mr. Steak's decline parallels that of Dakota Steakhouse, highlighting broader industry challenges. Dakota Steakhouse was a popular restaurant in the northeastern United States. It started in 1984 in Pittsfield, Massachusetts, and later expanded to Connecticut, New York, and Vermont. Located in the beautiful Berkshire Mountains, the restaurant featured a rustic log cabin theme, offering classic steaks, seafood, and salads in a warm, inviting setting. By 2013, all Dakota Steakhouses outside the Berkshires had closed, leaving the original Pittsfield location as the only one remaining, but it was struggling. The parent company had come out of bankruptcy, but still faced significant financial problems, including a government seizure of funds to pay off large tax debts. In April of 2013, the Dakota Steakhouse opened for Sunday dinner service as usual. After the customers left for the night, management locked the doors and never reopened again. In the ever-evolving landscape of the steakhouse industry, the fate of Dakota Steakhouse starkly mirrors that of Charlie Brown's. Charlie Brown's Steakhouse is no longer the popular restaurant it used to be in New Jersey. CB Holding Corporation, which owned the now-closed Bugaboo Creek Steakhouse chain, also managed Charlie Brown's at the end of its 50-year history. The first Charlie Brown Steakhouse opened in New Jersey in 1966. Over the next 30 years, the steak grew to have 22 locations, known for their steak, prime rib, and salad bar. In 2010, due to poor financial performance across the chain, CB Holding Corporation closed 20 Charlie Brown Steakhouses, leaving only 9 open. These restaurants struggled for 10 years, with 5 more opening during that time. By the beginning of 2020, 14 Charlie Brown Steakhouses were still operating in New Jersey. After months of strict shutdowns due to COVID-19, all but 1 closed. As of February 2023, only 2 Charlie Brown Steakhouses are still open, one in Scotch Plains and the other in Woodbury. The decline of Charlie Brown Steakhouse set the stage for understanding the unique yet unsuccessful concept behind Bugaboo Creek Steakhouse. Bugaboo Creek Steakhouse tried something unique by combining robots and steaks, but it didn't succeed. Imagine a restaurant taking animatronic characters like those from Chuck E. Cheese and placing them in a more adult setting with dishes like steaks and salads. That's what Bugaboo Creek did in the 1990s. The restaurant had a cozy, lodge-like feel with animatronic animal heads mounted on faux log walls. These characters, including Bill the Buffalo, Moxie the Moose, and Timber the Christmas Tree, would speak to customers about Canadian wildlife and nature. Bugaboo Creek opened its first location in Warwick, Rhode Island in 1993. Ownership changed over the years, and in 2010, CB Holding Corporation declared bankruptcy, closing several restaurants. Capital BC Restaurants rescued the chain, reopening a few locations, but by 2016, only 2 remained in Maine. Both restaurants were shut down that June, leaving many employees without jobs. And there you have it, 10 iconic steakhouse restaurants from the 1970s that have disappeared. Which of these would you have loved to try? Let us know in the comments. Oh, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating stories about restaurants and food history. And we'll see you next time.